Let's kick our season off here with Garry Cobb here. Garry, I don't want to set the table up too much here for you, but, I said 27-20. It was 25-20. I mean, were you surprised?
I was surprised. I mean, I've known, the doings of Belichick long enough to where, he's going to change some things up. He's going to mix it up a little bit where he's going to show you some different coverages. He will do all type of things like, a corner blitzing. He's going to change things up, and that's what he did. And really, they struggled with it. I mean, I know he had numerous times where he got 5 guys underneath, figuring they're going to try those short throws underneath and making Jalen be patient and wait. And he really struggled. And I didn't think it was just him, but it just seemed like, offensively, they never made the adjustment. You see what they're doing. You go on the sideline, you talk about, okay, and then you make the adjustments. And I didn't see that they were really able to make the adjustments. And that's what is problematic, because, there's sometimes you're going to go out and somebody's going to show you something, but, you want to see the adjustments. And they really weren't able. They didn't make the adjustments properly. And it seemed like the New England had them messed up the entire day where, he wasn't sure about where he was going. And so he's just making sure he's taking care of the ball. And then, so many times he's just pulling it down or he's throwing it away. It seemed like a lot of that. And that's not, the look of a quality offense.
No, it was no. And Garry, explain this one to me.
Mm-hmm.
How do you establish Kenneth Gainwell and not Goddard? And you come out in the first series and he's not going to beat New England. He's not going to win you games.
Yeah.
He's the lesser guy in your huddle of all that talent. You establish that. I mean, and you draft or you trade for Swift and you don't throw the ball to Goddard at all. 1 target in the entire game. I mean, were you disappointed with Brian Johnson in the game plan?
I would have to say, without a doubt, I thought that they might struggle early on because we figured, Belichick, he's going to show you something that he hadn't shown. So he shows you he's basically playing games underneath where he's taking away those short throws. You got to stay with it. If you're going to throw a corner or something deeper, you're going to have to hold the ball longer because he's taking away the short stuff. That's really what they came in. They said, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're not going to give them any of that short stuff. And most of the time, Jalen gave up on that play. He would not stay with it. Stay there in the pocket, give the guy a chance to run a deeper route and make some throws. Now, he made
Garry, didn't you think they became predictable? Even Romo was saying it. He goes,
mm-hmm.
There was like 6 wide open guys, and he was predetermining where they were going with the ball.
Yeah.
And it makes you look like you can't read defenses when you're doing that.
That's right. And obviously, what it's going to do is, other people are going to look at the film and they're going to see this again. They're going to see that. And what they were doing was, really, you had a lot of times where they might have 4 guys going across the field, take away all of the short stuff. You got to hold the ball. You're going to have to sit there in the pocket and you're going to have to believe, you're going to be able to get that pass protection. And you're going to have to wait for these guys to open up, let's say on a, 25-yard corner or something, whatever they're running. It's going to take longer for the route to develop, and you're going to have to throw the ball to those guys because we're not giving you this short stuff so you can just nickel and dime all the way down the field. And so that's what they did, and he struggled with it. The team struggled with it. It just didn't seem like they got into a flow where they decided on what they're going to do. Now, on the other hand, you look at New England. New England was taking those deeper routes. They really took advantage of the linebackers who were biting up
and
our
safety.
linebackers. They ran the routes against the linebackers, whether it was man-to-man or zone. They ran routes against our linebackers, and we weren't able to do that against New England for the most part.
I thought they turned around the linebackers, especially Dean, numerous times.
And they really, both of them.
We're not very good.
were not very good at all. And I mean, I saw it when they were out there during training camp. You see, well, they better make these adjustments. And you got to be talking. You got to talk, and if you're not talking with each other and communicating, they're going to run combination routes against the backers because they know that from an athletic standpoint, they got somewhat of an advantage if they send the wide receivers in there. These guys are, for the most part, quicker than these linebackers.
Garry, here's something else that really so for 2 years, I've been saying this to you, and you and I have been going back and forth on this here. I mean, it's one thing to have a special teams unit that's not the best. It's another thing when you're burning through timeouts because you can't get your personnel. I mean, Bill Belichick and his coaching staff, that was the lesser football team, and they ran rings and circles around the Eagle coaching staff. I mean, you're calling timeouts, Garry, just to get proper personnel on the field for your special teams, and the amount of field position you gave up, terrible.
Come on. If you gotta treat guys on the sideline like they're high school players, then that's what you do. Hey, get the punt team line up right over here. I want all you guys who got on the punt team, get right over here. If that's what you gotta do, because you can't be costing the team timeouts and looking like a Bush League team, doing that kind of stuff, because guys gotta know what teams they're on. And if they're not, you're going to find those guys. You're not putting up with that, because that's not professional football. I mean,
it's not. And, something
this isn't
else
a hobby.
Something else about Sirianni that I didn't like at the press conference. So
he's got to take responsibility. He's an offensive coach. He's listening in there. He should have a hand in those adjustments that have got to be made.
Absolutely.
And make an adjustment.
But Garry, and he goes like this. Out of nowhere, and I thought it was misplaced. Well, we may have to take a look at how we look at preseason football if we're going to play our guys in the X. And I'm like, man, you got a game 2 days from now, dude. Where are we going with that?
Come on.
Wow, that doesn't even make sense. You address that shit in the offseason.
That's right.
Not for Minnesota week.
That's right. I mean, and to be thinking like that, man, because you don't have a whole lot of time. In fact, a lot of times when they come in there and they're after a game like that, they're already thinking about that next team right now. And they almost start talking about them because they don't have very much time. It's going to be bang, bang. And then the fact that Minnesota lost, how important this game is to Minnesota. This is
can't start out 0-2.
Come on. This is an important game to them. So that you're going to get their best. So, they got their work cut out for them.
Absolutely. I'll tell you, here's a positive. I thought Jordan Davis, I thought he showed up. I thought he did well.
Too. Yeah, he
did. They stopped the run.
Yep.
And I'll say this in first comment on Jordan, but hey, Jalen Carter, I think he's everything that we thought he was going to be. Yep. I mean, he was a superstar in his first game as an NFL player. But talk about those two guys and how good they played.
I really like what I saw out of Jordan.
Yeah.
Man. And you know what? The best thing for a guy is good old competition.
Yep.
Come on. He hears people talking about him all the time. You don't think he goes home and says, man, I love my man, but I'm tired of hearing about him all the time. I want them to say something about me. Well, you know what? When you play like that, they're going to continue to say things about him. And I saw him using his power on people, and he's active, and you can see that he's a lot more active, and that when he's in there, he's got a lot more stamina. So he's going to be able to work. And they really got a good rotation.
Quick as hell, huh? The way he gets up the field. And
that's right.
The way he gets into the secondary there. But were you not surprised that the Patriots D-line pretty much dominated the Eagle O-line? I mean, I know they're good. They finished 8th in defense last year, the Patriots. And I know it's a good group, but both tackles struggled. Lane Johnson and Mulata, that kid White and Judon, those guys gave the Eagles all they wanted to handle in that game.
Yes, they did, and that was really disappointing in a way. But hey, this is the big boys. You got to show up to play every week, And if anything, I think that's going to help these guys. Going to give them motivation, but most definitely they got all they could handle from New England, and there weren't guys running through big holes and the kind of domination that you expected to see from the Eagles' offensive line. They got to play better, and they know they got to play better than they did. So that whole offense, Jalen and that whole group, they got to play better.
How about this? How concerned are you now that a guy whether you like Dean or not, you prepared for him to be your Mike?
I know.
He's not in there, and Bradbury looks like, and concussion protocol is not going to be there for Thursday. How do you feel about them taking on, Kirk Cousins and
I don't feel good
Justin
about
Jefferson this. And Jordan Addison?
I don't feel good about it at all. And all the games they played with the linebacker situation and everything, why they didn't, were you going to make sure you have enough guys in here? You go to the season, you got like 4 linebackers. I mean, I don't know about all that stuff, because really, I thought that they might come out and force the Eagles to put 3 or 4 linebackers, at least 3 linebackers on the field by going 2 and 3 tight end, but they're going to need linebackers. And so Dean is out. And now you're sitting there, and I don't know where they're going to get the guys from.
No, they signed this kid Evans, who was, I believe, in Tennessee last year.
Okay.
Rashad Evans. They just signed him, but you're talking about another guy off the street.
I know.
And Gary, I don't want to do overreaction Monday, but I'll say this. It's not so much overreaction Monday, and everyone goes, it's one game. I'm like, no, you had 6 months to prepare for 60 minutes of football.
Yeah. And
that's what it came out to. So you could say all you want coming from a fan sitting in the seats, but you and I know, well, what the hell did you go to OTAs for? What the hell were you doing all your training for?
That's right.
To put a performance like that up there, I mean, all the things you and I said, they're weak up the middle, linebacker covering, and also in the secondary covering. It reared its head. I mean,
yes.
Are you concerned going into Tuesday still with this? Or do you think these guys have enough leadership in that locker room to right the ship here? Or is this deeper, concerned. Gary? Gary, is this deeper than with personnel issues that they have?
Well, I think that I don't think it's necessarily deeper than personnel issues, but I think that they clearly have personnel issues. I mean, I look at Nakobe Dean and Zach Cunningham, and how many plays did they make? They're running plays right at them. A lot of the pass plays, and it's and most of the time, it's not like Mac Jones had a lot of time to throw. It's 1, 2, 3. The guy's open, boom, he's just taking it. Now, you can't just let somebody do that, and they know they're basically spreading the wide receivers out and run routes against the backers. That's all they had to do. And that's what they were able to do. And I don't see why wouldn't they do that again this week?
I think what Belichick and Andy Reid did the last 2 games.
Yeah.
I think what they did was knowing that weak middle zone that they have in that defense. Gary, you and I see. I know you're sitting there watching it going, look at the zone. It's wide open. It's wide open. Zone. It's wide open.
And they're basically just keying them. And they came up, they try to come up on stuff. They just throw the ball right behind them. Tight end, running a crossing route right behind them. Boom, wide open. And so you're asking the safety come up there. So basically you're running these routes on the linebackers and the safeties. That's who you're going after. And they were able to do that. They scored a touchdown running a route against, the safeties. I mean, it's something they're going to have to clean up, because they're going to see that again. They're going to see it this week. And then
2 last questions here. 2 last questions. Who do you think they're going to miss more? Gardner Johnson? Because I do think that Jalen Carter's going to cover this Javon Hargrave being sent to San Francisco.
Correct.
But who do you think they're going to miss more? Or maybe both, CJ or TJ?
Now that's, I mean, It's hard to say which one they're going to miss the most.
And by the way, I thought Gardner Johnson played great last Thursday.
Yeah, I saw he did. I thought he did as well. You know, I probably say the linebacker is probably going to be the linebacker situation because that's a factor in the run and in the pass, a big factor. But then again, you know, you look at the safety position, you know, and you know, you got a tight end running routes against a safety for a touchdown, a guy who's not really that great a route runner. So, you know, this week, man, they're coming after those guys. They're going to come after.
Who takes over for Bradbury now that Bradbury's there? And who's going to be out there on the perimeter now they're going to put out there that you feel comfortable that's going to cover Justin Jefferson?
Well, you know that they're going to try to double him as much as they can. So he'll have whoever it is out there, they're going to have help.
So that means they leave T.J. Hawkinson, that tight end, wide open, running up the seam.
They have to. They have to have either one of the linebackers or be one of the safeties that will be on him.
Josh Jobe, you think they're going to put out there?
I think so. They're going to have to. And you know what they're going to do is, you know, they'll play zone, they'll play man to man, they'll try to keep somebody over him all the time. You know, that's what they're going to try to do is. You know, I mean, there's only a certain number of ways you can double people. So you can take away the deep route. He's going to be working inside and get a chance when they're in zone to work against the Eagles linebackers. And they just have to do a better job. But they're going to try to keep somebody over him so he doesn't make big plays. And then at times they're going to get in man and try to have somebody helping with him. And maybe they will have the safety just over the top and let the guys play man-to-man underneath. But either way, they're going to try to mix it up. But they're going to try to take away the big plays. They know he's going to catch passes. They're not going to, you know, blanket him. He's going to catch passes. They just don't want him making big plays against them.
Plus,
you know, that's the whole thing.
He's probably got an ass because he got shut down last year.
Yeah. Now, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
So he probably wants his second opportunity.
National TV.
It's just, boy, man, short work week here.
I mean, you know, it just did not look like they were, you know, it's almost like, you know, you're looking at, I know Nakobe is young, but it's like they never played before, you know. You got to anticipate things. You got to be talking to each other, you know, and it's like there was no communication.
But to that point you're making there,
yeah,
the communication was probably more significant than what we thought because, look, missed blocking assignments by Lane and Mulata.
Yeah.
Player alignment and special teams.
Mm-hmm.
The communication in the secondary. That also leads me to this here. How, the secondary play and most notably the safety play. Give me a grade on what you thought that was.
Well, you know, thinking with the safeties, I would have to give them a C- at the highest, you know, because they were clearly going after them and they had all kind of success throwing the ball over the middle, you know, and they're throwing the ball to tight ends. These guys are not that fast. I mean, you don't have a blazer. How are you letting the tight end run a drag like a 15 or 18-yard
all the way across the field that Giesecke kid came
all the way across the field, and you're acting the guy's wide open. And
open, looked like we were playing a Big 12 game.
That's right, and you know it was easy shots to those guys. They've got to make adjustments. You got to do a better job of talking. You know, where you take away some of that things, and you need some big plays. I mean, Slated did make a really big play. Which was really one of the keys to the fact that they did win the game.
Oh, absolutely.
Even though really they were outplayed and, you know.
Well, the offense only scored 18 points, Gary.
They were outplayed, but they ended up winning the game. But it was a game which they got to play much better than that. And you got to be sharper and the communication. But, you know, you expect guys that have played a while that they communicated with each other and don't be out there where you basically got one guy on who's got on one thought, another guy somewhere else. Come on, man. You guys got to talk to each other. You're veteran guys, and especially a veteran guy, the first thing you go in there and say, look, man, we got to be talking to each other, you know?
Hey, Gary, I saw that 5-man backfield thing. I was like, what's this? I mean, hey, no wonder AJ walked off the field. He goes, I saw shit out there I've never seen
That's right.
in my entire life. But you have to be prepared to know when you prepared against that guy in 17 and won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Were you not ready for what you had to do to win that game? Because when I hear people making excuses, well, they were throwing things at us. Didn't you think that Belichick threw shit at people in 17 with that coaching staff with Doug Peterson?
That's right. That's right. Come on. You know, and the thing is, you go in, you're expecting things you didn't see before, and you make adjustments. You come to the sideline. That's why guys are over there talking to each other. That's part of being a pro player, you know? And you got to be able to think, come on, this is what they're doing, you know? And so you talk when you come to the sideline. You don't just go sit on your own somewhere, especially if they had some success. You come over and you talk. What did you see? What are they doing, you know? And you don't come over there like you're rookies, you know? And that's was really the most disappointing part of the way they play.
I would say this to you, Gary. The last 2 games that they've played, coaching's been a problem. Okay. And yeah. I mean, the 17 staff, those guys were brilliant. These guys here, I don't know, man. They got 2 days to fix this. Let's see what happens when we tee it up. It's going to be an interesting ball game Thursday night. Lesser talent. My man, thank you so much. Don't forget to catch my friend Garry Cobb, Fox 29.
You got the nation watching.
Hey, I got it. Thank you, Gary.
All right, buddy.
Oh, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, boy. So, like, wait a minute. That entire organization who prepared against Bill Belichick in 17, and you guys in the front office all know what that coaching staff with Doug and Frank and Jim Schwartz had to do to try to beat Bill Belichick. So you didn't know what you had to do in that game against Belichick or what to prepare for. You just thought, you just thought, again, that, hey, you know what? We have the better coaching staff. Yeah, whatever. Hey, let's one more time here announce the winners here for our Hooters giveaway. Congratulations to Wayne Miller from Florida and also to Christopher Arders from PA. We appreciate you being involved. One more time tomorrow, we'll start that up again where you can win those gift certificates. Great response, Tone says. Ton of you applied for it. You'll get an email tomorrow. We'll throw it out there. There's a code word. We're going to do it all week, and we'll go all the way up till Friday. And each and every single Monday, a football Monday, we will announce our winners. So, hey, we're so proud to have also the fact that Hooters has now made it the National Football Show, the home and the official home. And we appreciate those guys so much. Don't forget to go to northeasthooters.com to find one of the locations. They were absolutely packed over the weekend. All the college football, all the pro football. Eagle fans were all over the place. King of Prussia everywhere. Just absolutely. The Sunday night game was off the top. The Monday night game is going to be crazy too. Some of you too, if you don't want to go into the place, you can get HootersToGo.com. Try our great specials on the 40th anniversary. You buy 10 wings, get 10 boneless free. Wing Wednesdays, 1983. Kids eat free on Saturdays. All the beer specials we have, absolutely awesome. NortheastHooters.com. Find one of the 7 locations. We're going to be in town soon at the King of Prussia one. We'll give you more details on that. And when you roll into Hooters, do me a favor. You tell them Big Sil sent you.